Baby names are getting out of hand. My sister has a 1-year-old, and she was telling us this past weekend about a young boy that she met at the local pool with his mother. His name was Wolfgang. No, he wasn't an Odd Future fan. This kid was 2. And while my sister was at the hospital last year having her baby, their delivery nurse was telling them about a young couple who named their kid Dragon. Here's another story. My wife works in an art gallery, and one of the women that she works with also used to be a labor and delivery nurse. And my wife and I are expecting, so the topic of baby names comes up pretty often. Well, this coworker, who again used to be a labor and delivery nurse, was telling us some stories about how when she was delivering babies, sometimes the parents would ask for advice or feedback on potential names that they were thinking of, which is fine, totally understandable. Not everybody has a name picked out beforehand, no big deal. Well, she told us about this one time. A woman had her child and was filling out the paperwork, and she wrote down the name that the parents had picked out. She gave the nurse, my wife's friend, the paperwork and asked, "How would you pronounce this name?" Now, the name that this woman had written down was L-A-IA. Now, I want you to think about how you would pronounce this name. My wife's friend, she looked at that and said, I don't know, Leia? This woman got very upset and said, no, it's Ladashia. Get it? L-A-I-A. You get it. That's the name that this couple had picked out for their baby, and that's how they expected people to be able to pronounce it. Somewhere out there right now is a little girl going to school, taking attendance, and her name has a sounded out hyphen. Just a mockery of the English language. She had a lot of examples of really strange names, like Cricket or Twiggy. But it sparked the idea for this video because in our quest, my wife and I's quest to find a potential baby name or to pick out a name, we've come across some wild ones. Names that I can't even imagine actually naming a human being. Names like Windy, Precise, Vanilla with an apostrophe. Actually not sure if that's how you would pronounce this name. Part of the problem. I just saw it on a unique names list of 2025. This is an interesting twist on the more popular name Nyla, but it's for people who want to be extra special and extra confusing.
I do judge parents who name their children basic names in 2025 because you named her Sarah when Sequoia was right there. You named him John when Xander was right there. You named her Keisha when you could have named her Kayor.
This is a TikTok of a woman saying that she judges parents who pick out basic names for their kids and gives the example of how Beyonce probably wouldn't be Beyonce if she was named something like Brianna.
All I'm saying is that we know Beyonce would probably not be Beyonce if her name was Brianna.
What, would she not be able to sing if she had a different name or something? But listen to what she says.
You have the power to choose a path of distinguishment at birth for your child, but instead you choose a path of mediocrity when you name them James, John, or Luke out the gate. No disrespect to the Bible, to the law.
That is insane. You are not setting your kids on a path of distinguishment, and you're also not setting them up for mediocrity if they have a more basic name. You want to be interesting. I get it. You want to be interesting. You want your kid to be awesome and different from everybody else's kid. I understand that, but you can do that by raising an awesome kid. The name doesn't matter in the slightest, but it does when you give them a name that the substitute teacher is going to laugh at. If you name your kid, I don't know, Abby. Nobody is going to be like, damn, Abby, I really like you. I want to hang out with you. I want to be friends with you. But I already know this other Abby, and that's too many Abbies. It doesn't matter if somebody else has the same name as you. But giving your child some goofy-ass name just makes their life harder for no reason. You're only doing it for your vanity because you want to be able to introduce your kid to somebody and have them go, oh wow, that's quite the name. You see, one of the things that my wife and I talk about a lot is what is it going to be like when our kid goes to school? What's it going to be like when she gets called on to answer a question? What's it going to look like when this name is written down on a resume? Is the name just fucking stupid for an adult to have? Because as cute as it might be to name your kid Clementine or Lemon, real names by the way, at some point that child is going to grow up and have to walk into a job interview and be like, hi, nice to meet you. My name is fucking Lemon. I'm sorry if your name is Lemon. I'm sorry if your name is any of the names that I talk about in this video. My name is Johnny. You can make fun of that if you want. But let's dig a little bit more into this. One of the ways that people will try and clap back at things like this, or videos like this, people saying things like I'm saying right now, is they'll try and say, well, you're not the parent. What do you care? It's not your kid. We can name the baby whatever we want. You are the parent. That's true. But choosing to completely disregard your child's future feelings is a shitty thing to do. It isn't about you. The name that you give your child is not about you. It's about the human being that's going to have to live with the consequences of the stupid-ass name that you gave them because you wanted to be interesting. When you gave your son the most unique name of 2024 and he made news all around the world. Can you guess what this baby's name is? Because she doesn't say it in the video, she doesn't say it in the comments. It's Grizzly. She named her son Grizzly, like the bear. And she's obviously doing it for the attention because this isn't the only video that she has about her name, and holy shit, these views.
Have you noticed baby names are just getting weirder? Like nowadays, millennials are naming their kids.
Well, yeah, you can only hit the same nail with a hammer so many times. I mean, think about it, right? Like, the name Peter was probably looked at of concern and worry back when the English language was first made.
Actually, it probably wasn't.
Look, if you want to name your kid Grass, go ahead.
Naming your kid Grass is fucking child abuse, bro. That kid would get verbally assaulted every single day for the rest of his life, and you not caring about that makes you a bad person. I get that he's just trying to make an extreme example, but my point still stands. Because millennials went to school with 12 Sarahs and 8 Daniels. Then don't name your kid fucking Sarah or Daniel. There's other options.
All names are weird.
They're not.
Recently, some older relatives were having a conversation about all the weird names that are around now, but like, who cares?
I care, bro. People who care about other people care. Because your child with a weird-ass name is going to get bullied relentlessly. Did you people not go to school? Don't even get me started on fucking celebrity and influencer names. Like when Kanye and Kim had their first kid and they named her North. Of course, in these examples, it doesn't fucking matter because she's never going to have to work a day in her life, but still. There's Jason Lee and his partner's kid, Pilot Inspector, Beyonce and Jay-Z's kid, Blue Ivy, Gwyneth Paltrow and Chris Martin's kid, Apple. All just awful names. Don't even get me fucking started on Elon's kid that he had with Grimes. It's been years and nobody knows how to say this. Of course, these are really popular examples, but I don't think any of these people are going to struggle the same way that a kid from Michigan named Starchild will. Consider the impact that that name is going to have. That's all I'm asking. A name isn't that important, and making it that important isn't a good thing. It only gets noticed when it's terrible. Just raise an awesome kid. Anyways, that's all I really have to say. I think that giving your kid a weird and super unpopular name that nobody knows how to say is a shitty thing to do. Anyways, thank you for watching. Remember that reality is whatever you want it to be. I'll see you later. Bye.